What's the guarantee? Eric?
Mike, time to make history. Players in Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
Oh, yes.
Mom, Dad's being weird again.
Luscious.
Honey,
so full.
it's just grass.
Oh, it's so much more than just grass. It's a healthier, greener, and more luscious lawn. Yours can be too.
Look at you.
With Kabursky Brothers Lawn Care.
Remember, no shoes on the lawn. Because you're so beautiful.
Call or click today.
Murph and Andy, proudly presented by Ramsey Subaru, live and on demand across Iowa everywhere from the Channel Seed Studios. This is Murph and Andy. Murph and Andy, connected by cellular advantage.
Thanks for making part of your day include Murph and Andy. We appreciate you being with us. How you doing today, Andy?
I'm doing well. We didn't get hit too hard last night, actually. I'm not cleaning anything up.
We got hit hard here, but the house is standing, and at this point, that feels good. I was up watching television, and you could hear stuff hitting the roof, and it was a loud storm, but you look around the world, and you feel like, okay, we're doing okay.
Yeah, it got off to a crazy start last night after I got home from work. There was a crack of thunder that was like the sharpest, loudest crack of thunder I've ever heard. It sounded like a gunshot. I mean, it sounded like an explosion over the house. You guys, I imagine everybody heard that. It was.
I heard it. Yes, I heard it. I took cover. AD, how's everything in the U?
Yeah, everything's good over here. Yeah, same loud thunder, bright lightning, but no trees down, nothing like that. So yeah, feeling pretty good. And the 73 degrees at the end of July. Holy cow!
Yeah, what's the shift here from feels like? Down about 30?
It's got to be at least. Yeah.
What I do know is that when the temperature went up last night from the time that I walked out of the Channel 13 studios at 10:35, between that point and like midnight when I went to bed, it was like 87 degrees when I left, and it was 92 when I was going to bed. It had gone up. It was just so crazy. So I would imagine the heat index was over 100 degrees still when I went to bed. And this is like midnight. It was the craziest thing.
Yeah, Jason Parkin said it was going to peak at like 105 sometime after 10 p.m.
Just nuts. Yeah, just nothing like I've ever felt before. We'll get to some of this and more, but I was like, oh man, what are we in for tonight? Because the radar was just this long, thick path of severe weather and heavy rain just headed right at us, and with the potential of just kind of stopping and spinning overhead where it didn't move at all, like just sat there. Mm-hmm. And we know the kind of, everything is full right now, so it couldn't take that much rain. So I was really prepared for a difficult morning, but it just kind of kept stopping. We didn't get we were not in the worst case scenario. We were kind of in the best case scenario. So at least the metro was.
If you get a chance, come by and help clean up here. That'd be much appreciated.
Did you get any like flooding on your street or anything?
I didn't see any. No, they've kind of solved that with that year and a half or however long it took to put a new drainage system in there instead of the one from the late 1800s or early 1900s. This one works. It's been good. I was thinking about the late Reggie Roby today. I saw a photo of him, the former Hawkeye, and I think of him as a former Dolphin. Mm-hmm. He would have been 64 today, died of a heart attack quite a while ago. But just it made me think how this was kind of the first guy, he and Ray Guy, but Reggie Roby, you would stop and watch him punt because you just couldn't believe how high his leg went over his head and how his left foot didn't really leave the ground. And then he wore that wristwatch, and he would time his punts, and he would have time to like set the timer, and because just booming punts. And now we talk about punters a lot here in Iowa, but Reggie Roby was kind of the OG, stop what you're doing, watch him punt.
Yeah, if you were talking about NFL punters, when I was a kid, you were talking about Ray Guy or Reggie Roby.
Yeah.
And, I mean, find me 5 adult males who can do that, like with their body, like put one foot on the ground and have the other foot is literally straight up. I mean, that's like a straight line.
It's like a sideways splits.
Yeah,
it is.
an upright
it's like he's doing a upright split.
That's incredible flexibility.
Fun story for me is a long time ago, but Reggie Roby loved to bake, and he came by Sound
Reggie's
Off
cookies, right?
with Reggie's cookies. Yeah, he came by with his chocolate chip cookies, and he was on the show that I think Round Guy let me have one cookie, and he took the rest and ate the rest, and I think had them down by the end of the show.
Yeah,
but what
Reggie's
a nice
cookies.
guy! What a nice guy. So I was thinking about Reggie Roby today.
That's
would have been 64. Well, it's his birthday.
This is birthday. Makes sense.
Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines sets the table for today's sports and more. Coming up, remembering Ryno, WNBA having a week, and Mr. Movie did watch Happy Gilmore too, and he'll review Happy coming up here in 40 minutes. AD, do you think Mr. Movie will be happy?
No, absolutely not.
We'll leave it there. Don't forget, Guest House Tavern and Oyster has nightly specials every Wednesday. That's today, Walleye Wednesday. Fresh walleye, salt and vinegar fries, $20 at Guest House Tavern. Now, high or low since the last show.
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax is a one-stop shop for everything you need, all your questions that you have about your retirement planning, your retirement accounts, tax futures, all kinds of stuff like that. Tim Hawkins is the guy that can help you. We know him. We like him. I think you can trust him. Give him a call up there. You can find him online. I'm going to switch this from a low to a high because I was expecting today to be soaked. I was worried I'd have water in my basement, and I don't. So it was a whole lot less severe than I thought, and it's finished. We're on the other side of this. We're supposed to get good, dry, like unseasonably cool weather with highs in the 70s. I'm looking forward to that. I will say that I'm getting a new sump pump because I don't want to worry about the sump pump anymore.
Well, what a glamorous purchase that is.
Yeah.
Just everybody who comes over is going to compliment you on your new sump
It's
pump.
going to make
This
my
is really
house
exciting.
just live so much better.
Wow, what a sump pump you
While
have.
I'm at it, I'm going to throw in a new radon mitigation system.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, this place is going to be,
Man.
you guys, I mean, you're probably
We
going to
won't
feel
even
it from where you
recognize
live.
your house when we see all this.
It's one of those are those things that like you have to have. You know you have to have them, but you don't ever want to think about them.
For me, it was tuck pointing. It was so expensive. No one will ever notice that.
That's at least on the exterior of your house.
That's true.
Right? I mean, no, you can't even see the sump pump. And you don't want to see the radon mitigation system. It's a giant white tube going up the side of your house. It's not very attractive. And, and they're not cheap. Of course, none of it is cheap. I want to compare it to tires on a car, but tires on a car are way sexier.
Yeah, you might notice them, and you definitely feel them.
But it's peace of mind. It's peace of mind, and it's just one of those things where you get extra money, and you think, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to update my sump pump and radon mitigation system. No, you say, oh no, I'm going to put a new deck on, or I'm going to get a new car, or I'm going to update our carpeting on the inside of our house, or remodel our kitchen or something. You don't ever think of these kind of things, but that's really where you should put your extra money, right? Because if you're in the position where you have to spend that money and you don't actually have it, this is a good conversation to have with Tim Hawkins. That kind of stuff.
It really is.
All right, I digress. Go ahead, Murph.
I'm going high. I watched two-part documentary on Billy Joel, and so
that.
it goes.
Yeah,
I'm
I saw
not,
that.
I'm not the biggest Billy Joel fan, but I heard this was really good. It is long. It's nearly 5 hours, but it needs.
I was
that
wondering why they were
much
playing
time.
it back to back on Max.
Yeah, it's
in
a
several
two-parter,
parts, right? Yeah, 2 parts.
but what a life, fascinating life, and he is one of those guys that as you're watching this, you're like, oh man, I forget how many monster, indelible hits he's had. And then that makes sense because, part of the documentary at one point he decides he's not going to write anymore. He's written what he's going to write and he's going to let that stand. The pressure was driving him crazy. So he just stops writing, but he's got this catalog of songs that he can go sell out. If he was healthy, he could go sell out Madison Square Garden 10 nights in a row right now, without question. And you're kind of reminded why watching this. So if you like music, you're interested, if you have any interest in Billy Joel, it's a must. But otherwise, too, and there are all kinds of stars in it. Paul McCartney, for one, says, Just the Way You Are is the song he wishes he had written. He's like, that's like a perfect song. But there's...
song.
Yeah, and it also, I didn't realize how great a piano player he is and that he was classically trained, and that's kind of where everything starts with him. But recommended, kind of missed some of it last night as the storm was raging around me. I couldn't hear it very well, but I did finish it up last night. Recommend it. Now let's get the buzz here on a Wednesday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
All right, Logier Heating and Cooling, giving your air conditioner a break today. Well, Logier's not giving it a break, but it's, I'm sure, welcoming the break that you're getting today. You can open the windows back up. Said goodbye to Ryne Sandberg at ballparks across the country and elsewhere last night. Ryne Sandberg died Monday after a 1.5-year fight with bladder cancer. He's one of the most beloved Cubs of all time. And Andy, I would say for many, he's number one. I mean, Ernie Banks is Mr. Cub, but Ryne Sandberg's right up there in the hearts of many, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think he probably would win the poll if you took it today. There just aren't that many people left that remember Ernie Banks. But he was and I say this as a Cardinal fan, I mean, he was not a hateable Cub by any measure. He was a good guy. He played hard, really played his position as solidly as anybody. There was always a debate, at least in St. Louis, about who the best second baseman was, and Jose Oquendo with the Cardinals was in that debate because he was so acrobatic and got to so many balls, and he got to a lot more balls than Ryne Sandberg did. But Ryne Sandberg, if the ball was in his range, he was going to get it. I mean, he was like 100%. He was so good. And then he was also an excellent hitter. And then later on in life, later on in his career, he really upped his power and became like a 40 home run guy, which was really, really remarkable. Given that, I mean, he did play in Wrigley Field, which is a smaller field, and the wind could blow out. But he still logged a lot of time in places like Busch Stadium and Veterans Stadium and the Three River Stadium and Riverfront and those bigger fields.
He had a bunch of triples, which is hard to do at Wrigley Field.
Yeah, he had good speed. I mean, he was just an all-around really great ball player. So many fans would call him their favorite player, and with good reason. And when a favorite player passes, man, it gives you a shot of reality into your own mortality, right? I mean, you just like,
it hits hard.
Yeah, life doesn't continue forever. It really hits hard. And, we got to interact with him a little bit here for the year that he was the iCubs manager, and couldn't have been a nicer guy who seemed like he was, just really appreciated that opportunity. It was crazy to see him as the manager of the Iowa Cubs. I mean, arguably the biggest Cubs star of all time is managing their AAA team here in Des Moines, but he seemed to really, really like that.
He was the top attraction easily that year, that summer in Des Moines. And one of the things he liked, he lived in an apartment where you could see, it was from downtown, you could see Principal Park, but he would walk to the ballpark.
Yeah.
And he would walk around Des Moines, and it wasn't like walking around Chicago. I mean, occasionally somebody would see him and be like, oh, Ryne Sandberg. And he was always accommodating to fans anytime I ever saw him. But it wasn't quite the fishbowl of Chicago, and I think he enjoyed that. 1984, he wins the MVP, and a couple of things here for some of our younger viewers. First of all, it's hard to understand how much bigger baseball was in 1984 than it is now for the average sports fan. The other thing is the Cubs hadn't been to the playoffs in nearly 40 years. I mean, that seems impossible, but there was no wild cards back then. And
you either won the National League or you weren't in the playoffs.
And they just couldn't get to the playoffs. And then, Andy, as a Cardinals fan, I'm wondering, do you remember what is commonly called the Ryne Sandberg game in 1984? It's against the Cardinals.
Yeah.
He hits a couple of home runs, including one in extra innings at Wrigley Field. It's on the game of the week. So Bob Costas is doing the call. I don't remember the fight.
I don't. That would have been. So the Cardinals were really good then. Not really good throughout the '80s until the very end of the '80s. But no, I guess I don't remember that. No, I don't know which one.
That's thought to be the game where he kind of moves to the front of the MVP conversation, and then the Cubs start their surge where they do end up winning the division and they go to the playoffs for the first time in nearly 40 years.
The Padres.
Now, Sandberg never won a playoff series, played in 2 playoff series, hit nearly 400 in his 2 playoff appearances.
84 and 89, is that the other one?
84 and 89, okay. Yeah, very good. He was not a first ballot Hall of Famer, got in on the third ballot. And it has the statue outside Wrigley Field.
That's ridiculous.
That he wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Well, I mean, he should at least be a second ballot Hall of Famer. The 3 ballots in.
We need one more vote here. Let me give it some time.
Guy did everything really, really well.
The Iowa Cubs had 23 seconds of silence in a classy move at the ballpark last night. Sam Burnaby knew the president of the Iowa Cubs, general manager of the Iowa Cubs. He knew Ryno for decades. And here's Sam, as told to WHO 13's Adriana Torres, on what made Ryno special.
The epitome of baseball is Ryne Sandberg. He was everything on the field. He was everything off the field. He was so important to the fans. He was so important to his teammates. He was important to us as administrators and baseball business people. The year we got to spend with him here was so special. He taught everybody a lot of things in one baseball season, whether it was the shortstop that was playing for us or whether it was the general manager of the team, who happened to be me at the time. What a special opportunity to learn from a guy like Ryne Sandberg.
And Sandberg won Manager of the Year in the Pacific Coast League. Iowa went 82 and 62. And it seemed like everything was in place for him to become the Chicago Cubs' next manager, which, of course, is what he wanted so badly. But they passed on Sandberg. Lou Piniella, maybe? I'm trying to remember who the Cubs went with instead. So then Sandberg goes into the Phillies organization, eventually does end up being the Phillies manager, gets fired from that job. But it just didn't go as the storybook would dictate.
Yeah, I don't remember who the Cubs went with instead of him, but I'd forgotten he did that well here. But yeah, I guess I don't really understand. I mean, there are a lot of elements that go into consideration when you're talking about guys managing teams at that level. I mean, there's such the personalities have to be aligned, as well as the roster that they've got at the time. They may not have thought that was right for him or whatever, but it was a treat to have him. I remember how surprised we were when we learned that he was going to do that. What? Ryne Sandberg? He doesn't need to do this, but he wanted to, and I imagine he thought of that as one of. I bet he thought that was one of the greatest things of his whole career.
I'll bet he did too. It's like when you hear Kirk Ferentz lovingly talk about those early days in Maine, or just when simpler times when you're not quite as much under the microscope.
And one other thing, we should take this opportunity every time it comes up. We usually do, but when you grow up loving a player, and then he, after the games, after his career is over, and let's say maybe you meet him, or maybe you just see him at a more personal level, managing your hometown team, or you see him more as, you get a better glimpse of him as a man, and he turns out to be a good man. That is such a relief as a fan to know that your cheers were deserved, right? That the person who you was worthy of your, you idolized him and he was worthy of that, right? I mean, it's a crusher to find out somewhere down the road that, your favorite athlete is a dick. That just crushes you, I mean, it makes you question your own judgment. It ruins that player for you in a small way, or maybe in a big way. But I imagine that a lot of people, in seeing Ryne Sandberg up close and just kind of seeing his career afterwards, he was always a good guy. There was never any dirt on him. He seemed like a guy that deserved every cheer he got.
I was 22 years old and at spring training, and I did an interview with Pete Rose, a lengthy interview, and he was just such a jerk to me the entire time. I mean, it was just like he went out of his way to make me feel as uncomfortable as possible. His answers, he shouldn't have done the interview because he had no interest in doing the interview. And I got done, and I was so crushed, to your point, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't, they say don't meet your heroes. Pete Rose wasn't my sports hero, but I thought so much of him, and too much, I think. So when I was doing my stand-up, I mentioned some of this, like what Pete Rose had been like in the interview, and the photographer, who I'll forever be grateful for, he was like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I feel like I need to point out, what a jerk Pete Rose just was." And he's like, "No, you don't. Who are you? You're nobody. That's Pete Rose. Tell the story of the baseball here today. Leave your personal feelings out of it. This isn't a commentary." And he was 100% right. And I reached out to him last year, Pat Gregory, when Pete Rose died, to say, "Hey, thank you for that day, for setting a young guy who needed a teaching moment. And you taught me," because I was so stupid. I can't now, the older me can't even believe that I was considering doing that. And just to bring it full circle, I have interviewed Pete Rose a couple of times since, and one, he was okay, and one, he was completely charming and nice, and the interview went really well. So sometimes it just depends when you catch somebody. I think we know enough about Pete Rose now to know that just because you're really good at a particular skill doesn't necessarily make you a well-rounded good person. But
probably
that was a lesson for me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. You could be a really good baseball player. It doesn't necessarily make you a really good father or a really good person. And we've learned that lesson many times. And also one more element here, kind of a broad look at why Ryne Sandberg was so big. First of all, Chicago, Midwest at that time, you have Michael Jordan, Ryne Sandberg, and Walter Payton kind of all arriving into the 80s scene at one time. So that is a decade there of excellence in sports heroes, unmatched in Chicago's history. And then the other part that I don't think you can overstate this, but the influence of WGN being in every home. Yes. And TBS with the Braves as well. Mm-hmm. But that Cubs became a national brand because there was no ESPN at that time, or it was just beginning. And if you wanted to watch baseball, if you were a kid like me, or a kid like you, and you didn't have a hometown team, I guess you did there in St. Louis, but you had to watch the Braves or the Cubs or wait for the game of the week. Those were your options.
Yeah, it's the Cardinals had that in the decades prior to that with radio and KMOX with the biggest right. signal there. That was those were the eras where you present one option to fans, and that's all they got, but that's all they needed. It was everything that they needed, and it made a huge difference. So, even in St. Louis, we would get all of those Cubs games on WGN, and you certainly saw the impact of that because it wasn't the Cubs record that was winning them, fans. And there was another team in Chicago too. So it really wasn't Chicago. It was just the fact that the Cubs were on. But that's a different era. We're never gonna see something like that again. No. But at the same time, it was a good era. It was in the 80s. I think it was Ryne Sandberg would have been at Wrigley Field, I think, for a considerable amount of time before they got lights at Wrigley Field. That's how long it took for them to add lights, and that's how long ago it was that he was there.
One final note, the Cubs will wear a special 23 patch with Ryne Sandberg's autograph on it, his signature on it for the remainder of the season. Now, you might think this would go out and inspire the Cubs to beat the Brewers last night, but it did not. These Brewers are not playing around right now, man. They won again.
Good.
9-3. The Cubs will wear the 23 patch the rest of the year. Interact on YouTube. You email Murph_Andy at iowaeverywhere.com. On X, formerly Twitter, it's Murph_Andy. And it is all powered by the Cellular Advantage, now with 35 regional locations and proud partner with U.S. Cellular since 1993. Well, the WNBA is having quite a week. There were 2 play stoppages this week. One when a player lost her wig and then left the court, went to the locker room. They stopped play, weren't sure what was going on. And the other stoppage happened last night when a sex toy was thrown onto the court and bounced about 20 feet, maybe more, all the way over to the bench.
Yeah, there was some flex to it. Yeah, it bounced.
What causes a toy to bounce like that, Andy?
My dildo bouncing experience is extremely limited. I don't know. I mean, I think it came from a long way away, didn't it? You look at the video and you can kind of you can see that something got thrown down there, and they just take this ridiculous amount of time trying to get to the bottom of what it is. I'm sure they could tell right away because the
just move along.
is right there.
Nothing to see here.
But they go into that long, tired spiel where they reprimand all the fans and chastise the people for how dangerous this is, and you've got the safety of the athletes, all that bullshit that you've heard a million times. Yeah, I know. Just tell us what it is and then move on. But it took forever to get rid of that thing, right? Because didn't a cop have to come out with like rubber gloves on and pick it up?
Well, there was rubber for sure.
Well, there's a picture of a cop out there with rubber gloves on. I don't know if they were picking it up, but man, I'm just like, all right, just come on, man. It is fun. Well, of course, it led to a long string of social media comments that were highly questionable in taste.
I am sure there were some of those. Meantime, the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark back on the court. Not surprisingly, ratings are plummeting. Attendance is way down at places where the Fever played. It's mostly no-shows. The tickets were already purchased. But you could see at the Sky Fever game where Clark and Reese both didn't play this weekend.
They put the bigger arena, and neither one of them were there.
United Center, bunch of empty seats, and that's the largest arena in the NBA.
Huge arena.
It's huge, and neither one of them are there. A lot of empty seats. Now the ratings, to be clear and to be fair, are still considerably higher than they were pre-Caitlin Clark. But they are down. Like each game she doesn't play and loses about 1 million viewers of what it would have had she played. but the ratings are still up. And I've seen that a little bit. Like my wife, Jenny, is still watching The Fever even when Caitlin's not playing. So I'm sure she's not alone in that way. We see all the time, there are people that say, well, Caitlin's not playing, I'm not watching. But there are some people that become fans just by the repetition of getting to know some of the other players. And that's why it is the old rising tide lifts all boats.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like think of a basketball. I mean, she's the one that put the air into it, but it's good to see that all the air doesn't come out of it the moment that she's not on the court. There's still enough interest. I mean, she did generate general interest in the league and in other players, and that interest has, I mean, I'm going to say at this point, a little bit of shelf life. I don't know how long that is. It's not forever, I'll tell you that. I mean, this goes on for another year, and we're going to be back down to where we started. But I mean, this is good to see that. You know, I mean, they are. You see headlines about the WNBA now in games that don't involve her. Social media posts that people, partake in, get a lot of looks that don't involve her. There are athletes who you never heard of before her that are now, I don't know that they're household names, but they're definitely well known in the sports arena.
On a more serious and scary note, Clark's creepy 55-year-old stalker was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison.
Did you hear him in court?
Yes, I did. He said he was in an imaginary relationship. He pleaded guilty to stalking and harassing Caitlin Clark. He was driving around Caitlin Clark's house 3 times a day. Now, as many WNBA players talk about the stress of being jeered at games or some of the social media shade that they have to withstand, why didn't anybody talk about what this must have been like for Caitlin Clark to go through? I don't remember the WNBA ever saying anything in support of the unimaginable terror and fear she and her family must have felt. I mean, whatever anybody thinks that they went through in terms of social media criticism and stuff, it's nothing like what this actually was. I mean, this dude sent 800 messages, Andy, 800, many sexually violent in nature. And Clark said she felt terrorized, frightened, intimidated, and threatened. But you know what? She didn't say any of that publicly. She didn't come out and ask for sympathy or say, hey, you have no idea what I'm going through. How about a little empathy or sympathy here? Whatever you think you're going through, I feel like this is worse. And I think that says not only a lot about her, but it also, again, says something troubling about the WNBA. Why was there not more support from players, the league, anybody for this terror that she was experiencing? I mean, this is all real. This guy admitted all
and
of this.
This is a situation that's unique to women's sports. I mean, it's common in day-to-day life.
Good point.
Men terrorizing women. It's a domestic violence situation, even though there wasn't any actual contact. I mean, this is a man terrorizing a woman, and the way that women must feel is some way, we can't really imagine it, but they certainly can, because probably to some extent, just about every woman can relate to this sort of feeling and being stalked or harassed or the object of unwanted attention from a man. I mean, it's a horrible thing that happens to women. So I mean, this is something that is unique to women's sports, and I think it's something that probably before now we've only considered a few times. I mean, you would hear tennis players and that being kind of terrorized and that, but I don't know that I've heard of this kind of thing. Every now and then it would pop up, but to have something that's so such a star involved in this kind of thing, and you're right. I mean, this is a really good opportunity that the WNBA should have made more of, and talking about women being terrorized by men. And
offering support. I mean, this was this was not from a distance. This guy was driving around her house. Imagine how Caitlin's family must have felt about all this. And I can remember at Iowa when she first had security go everywhere with her, and some people like rolling their eyes at that. No, she became the kind of star we haven't seen in this state, and that always brings out some odd, weird, creepy people. And she was dealing with some of that privately, and then this got out of control. And one more thing here. What is Caitlin doing as this guy is being sentenced to just 2.5 years in prison? At the same time, she's over at McCombs Middle School in Des Moines handing out 500 backpacks to DMPS kids, backpacks full of school supplies, and cutting the ribbon on a community court donated. So, I mean, just this whole thing deserved more attention, and she should get more grace for the way she handled all of it.
And when you have a mentally, this guy's mentally ill, and
has to be.
Question about this. When you have a mentally ill man just feeling, I mean, really feeling justified in doing she's single, so am I. I'm just trying to hit on her. I mean, it's what I'm allowed to do. I mean, he feels really justified. And then listening to him in court, he blames it on the lack on the fact that nobody blocked him.
Yeah, and the judge says, you sent 800 messages.
And he's like, well, if they just hit the block button once, these 800 messages, they would have never gotten through. And at that point, I really was waiting for, this only happens in movies and TV, but I was waiting for the judge to absolutely throw the book at him and be like, it was a woman judge too.
2.5 years, not enough.
I thought she was going to be like, look, buddy, the fact that after all of this, you still have absolutely no sense of responsibility for this. You have no understanding for the magnitude of this and your actions, tells me that you need to go away for a long time. You do not need to be out there doing this again, because you cannot see the forest for the trees. I thought she was going to absolutely clap back hard on him.
And she didn't. Yeah, I was disappointed by that too. All right. Thank you. That was a tough conversation, but a worthy one. Let's lighten it up here, because I got this email recently, Andy, and I want you to see if you think this is real. I hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask about arranging private golf lessons teacher for my kids. Now, they love the sport, and I think your skills could help them a lot. Where do you reside and provide the lessons? Please reply as soon as you can. Thank you. Best regard, Lisa. Now, Andy, AD, the fact that I don't play golf anymore, should that get my antenna up that maybe this isn't a legit offer to pay me for my golf tutelage?
First thing that always strikes me about these kinds of emails or texts or whatever is the random capitalizations and non-capitalizations. I mean, golf should not be capitalized. Best should be regards. I mean, just like, okay, so that sets you off. And then you're like, all right, well, this person she didn't say Keith, right? She didn't say Keith.
No, it doesn't say Keith. It was
always
sent to me. Yeah.
That's suspect.
Best regard.
And
I don't get the full regards.
Golf lessons teacher for my kids.
Yeah,
doesn't make any sense.
This is
they probably
written by someone in a foreign country. And
Lisa, find somebody who golfs. I mean, at a minimum, I think that should be your requirement. Okay, Andy, AD, look at this photo, please.
Mm-hmm.
AD, do you have it yet?
What? Yeah. What is this?
Do you have Andy? Do you have it?
Yep, I got it.
Okay, AD, you don't have it.
Sitting on a terry cloth towel.
Fork sitting on a
they're
plum
forks. Holy cow.
towel. Once you see it, can't unsee it.
Now it's obvious.
Yeah, but at first, did it just look like peppers dangling or something?
Like weird, like carpet.
It looks like the towel is like up in between the tines of the fork, like they're nestled down in like a little fork holder or something.
because now I can't see what I saw 30 seconds ago.
Right.
I know. And Andy let you off the hook early here. I plan to go 30 minutes of this, of you, AD, just you staring at this and just making you feel like there's something wrong.
It's like I can't get back to the, like, I can't describe what I was seeing because I can't see it anymore.
Yes, everybody say it is, as Andy described, it's like forks on a towel or a cloth, a plum-colored cloth. And once you see the 4 forks there, AD, you're right. You can't really go back and see that weird thing. Like, I remember, I don't even know how to describe it. I felt like it was peppers hanging or something. And then now all I see are the forks.
I looked at this for like 5 minutes earlier, too, and never saw forks.
That's great. All right,
you have to look away from it and then look back again, and it sometimes will come back.
Exactly. Confluence, the official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence, where Old Tavern keeps selling out, but if you can't find it or they don't have it, ask for more. They will bring more at Confluence. You can count on that. All right, let's get some more on a Wednesday.
But wait, there's more from Either Or Eatery and Patio.
Oh, at long last, I can say it with a straight face. Check out the patio at Either Or. Oh, my God. I was saying that before, and I was like,
puddle of sweat.
Look at it from the inside, okay? Look out there toward the patio, but don't go out on the patio at Either Or. It's too damn hot. Now it's back to great patio weather. Supposed to be that way through the rest of the week. Hit this thing up. It's the best patio in Iowa. It's great for the whole family, and not a place where even if you bring your kids or somebody else's kids are there, it's not going to bother you one bit. There's plenty of buffer zone there between the kids area and the parents area, and fantastic food and drink to boot.
We had kids all over the place, and we did a radio show there. Or this show, show, whatever you call this.
Multiple times we've
done a radio show too. That's right.
Love
We've
doing
done
the
a
show
couple
over at
times.
Either Or. Overnight, so officially Des Moines got 1.3 inches of rain. Perry got almost 4 inches.
Ooh.
Wow. If it seems like this is the rainiest July ever, it's because it is.
Oh,
wow.
We got 10 points. We have gotten it. July's not over. We have received 10.62 inches of rain as of 7 a.m. this morning. I think we got a little bit after that, so probably a little more than that so far. That's the reading at the Des Moines airport. According to the National Weather Service, this is the wettest July ever. And not only was it the wettest, it had to be the most uncomfortable because, rain is uncomfortable. And then even when it wasn't raining, it was so damn humid.
Well, I'm interested to hear you say all this because anytime I felt like complaining, I was inspired by your words on what's bugging Andy to not hurry the summer up, to slow everything down. Football will be here soon enough. Just enjoy this. But I couldn't.
That was could not have been timed better. Like the next day, the weather just took a giant shit on us, and it was horrible from that point on to the point where I'm like, all right, what did I say? Go ahead and bring on college football season because that means college football weather, and it is better than this weather. Get the hell out. GTFO July. I mean, I am so sick of this weather. It was just awful. Walkouts. If you're wearing glasses, as you frequently do, Murph, you got the air conditioning blowing on you in your car, and then you step out and it's just immediately fogged up for like 5 minutes.
Happened to me as soon as I walked out last night. We left the station, boom, couldn't see.
Stuff just doesn't dry out at all. There is a little bit of flooding that's out there. There's more coming. There was so much rain upstream on the Des Moines and Raccoon basins. Hey, it's back. Did you see this?
That?
It's back. No, not the McRib, not Vanilla Coke. Floor Drive Construction.
Oh, yes.
It's back. You thought it was gone. Wrong. Final phase.
Get the
Just
T-shirts
kicked in.
back out.
Oh, my God. It runs from George Flagg Parkway to MLK Parkway, which I'm never really sure where that begins and where it ends. Is that the elbow there? Where does that mean? Where does Fleur technically begin now? Like at Ingersoll, or does it begin like down where MLK turns?
Yeah, I think it must be there, but I'm not sure.
I'll bet you there's somebody on the Fleur Road construction crew who is like his son was born, and now he's working on the crew with his dad. It's like full circle. 30 years later, they're working together. Dad's getting ready to retire.
Started the day his son was born, and he's getting ready to send him to college right now. It's taken so long, and it wouldn't be such a big deal, but there are so few north-south corridors in this city.
And the airport
I've
is
never
at
seen
the end of
anything
that
like
road.
it. You cannot get north-south in the city. It's so hard. It's got to do with rivers and railroad tracks and just kind of the way that the city was laid out, the way it grew. But when you take out Fleur, that major north-south corridor, especially coming up from the airport, going all the way to the highway, oh my God, it's just it's a blood clot is what it is. Good news though, they expect that it'll be done by October
of this year.
Hey, what's the hurry? Yeah, it's just one last little stretch, but it's almost finished. Jeez. One of the strongest earthquakes ever measured struck off the eastern coast of Russia yesterday. Murph, I know you saw this, off the Kamchatka Peninsula, which is very sparsely populated, about 8 miles offshore. 8.8 registered on the Richter scale, triggering fears of a tsunami across much of the Pacific. And I mean, when the predictions first came out, it was crazy. They were like, in Hawaii, get to a 10-story tall building if you're on the beach. Move inland. You saw, Parkin showed me this satellite image of the ships in Japan. Mm-hmm. They were all in port, and that showed them all pack up their shit and get out to sea like as fast as they could. Like, wow. All of them just moved out. We're like, we got to get out to sea here, so we're not as part of this. Turned out not being, so far it has not been nearly as bad as they feared at first. But even the aftershocks from this earthquake, where the ground, I guess it actually under the seabed moved up 9 meters.
Jeez.
So it's like 30 feet. But the aftershocks alone were 7.0 on the Richter scale, which is a massive earthquake in and of itself.
Yeah, Jason was explaining to me that when you go on that Richter scale, and I never understood this, but an 8 is 10 times stronger than a 7. A 7 is 10 times stronger than a 6, and on down. So that just gives you the kind of the scale of the 7 aftershocks versus the 8.7 when it hit.
Yeah, Richter, that guy knew earthquakes. He sucked at math. It wasn't his strong suit. So, I mean, just have to, that's his scale. Indiana Fever guard Sophie Cunningham debuted the Arby's partnership while arriving at the game against the Chicago Sky on Sunday. In a collaboration Instagram post. This is the shirt.
Hot girls eat Arby's.
Yeah, in conjunction with the social media post, Arby's is selling the now viral crop top that says "Hot girls eat Arby's" right here that she's wearing for $20. As of Monday, the small and large sizes of the shirt were already sold out.
But mediums are still available, apparently.
Yeah, aren't those usually the first to go? Usually mediums, it seems like in women's clothes. I would think that, well, I guess that's what Kahala wears. I shouldn't say everybody wears that. But
I do like an Arby's roast beef sandwich. A big fan. But did
you know that hot girls eat?
Yeah. Well, I did know that. And I liked what you had to say Sunday night on Sound Off, What's Bugging Andy. It's like Sophie Cunningham just gets it. Like, she just leans into all of it and has fun with it. I mean, whether it's protecting Caitlin Clark or just having a blast with videos or wearing a shirt that says "Hot girls eat Arby's." Like, she just has fun.
And why is it that she seems like one of the few who does get it? This seems like the easiest thing to get, right? I mean, yeah. This is picking up a $100 bill off the ground. I mean, who will be nice to Caitlin Clark? I will. How difficult is it? Who will stand up for your most valuable player on the court?
Yeah, I guess I'll do that.
Anybody? I will.
And I'll take the million new followers that come with that and all the money that followers bring. I mean, what?
She's beautiful, and so that gives her certainly a leg up on many of these social media influencing opportunities. But still, I mean, there are many beautiful women in the WNBA, but I don't see many of them taking this type of opportunity. I mean, I really don't feel like she's objectifying herself at all. It looks to me like she likes to dress like this, and you want to pay her to wear the clothes she was going to wear anyway. Sure. Okay. Why not? I'll do that. Yeah. Like, how am I the only one in this league doing this? You don't want to join? Okay. I guess I'll be the only one that does this kind of stuff. Whatever.
Front Office Sports reports today that the Colin Cowherd has just signed her up for her own podcast on his network.
She seems to have a really good personality. I mean, you hear her talk on her posts, and she says interesting stuff. She's seems like someone that just does not take herself too seriously and is enjoying the opportunity she's got. A new survey from Optimum says we're now online for more than 10 hours a day. But do the math. I mean, we sleep for 7 hours. That leaves 16 left, and 10 of those we're online.
Sorry, friends and family.
We are online more than we're not when we're awake. Average of 5.4 hours spent on the 3 Bs: browsing, bills, and buying. I mentioned browsing and buying dwarf bills.
Yeah, browsing's way the leader, the clubhouse leader.
50 years ago today, former Teamsters Union president Jimmy Hoffa, last seen outside a suburban Detroit restaurant, declared dead finally in 1982. I still don't think they've solved this. I think most of us lost interest.
Geraldo sure didn't solve
apparently
it.
This was just no, he didn't. It didn't help any of that kind of stuff. And finally, let's take a look at this. Don't play the video just yet, Andrew. Let me set this up on a tee for Murph. Let's take a look at this marriage proposal.
Okay.
On the famed Greek island of Santorini. The guy has got it all. Okay, he's got the girl. He's got perfect weather. He's got the scenery. He's got the camera, all set up to record the huge moment and make himself a viral hit. And let's see what happens. Here it is.
The tourist just stepped right in front of the camera.
The American tourists step right in and ruin the whole thing. I mean,
and they're eating.
Of course they're eating. But I mean, look at this. It's perfect. Yep. It's all, there it
They've
is
got
right
cute
there.
outfits on.
Where's the answer? You see she nods. You can barely see her little bun go up and down in the back. But this woman is standing in front of
with her bucket hat, big purple shirt, eating a candy bar or something. Oh my god!
Oh my god! I mean, they're really, and you're going to see this when you take your trip here this week, Murph. But you know this already. You have two things going on there. You've got the people just walking around cluelessly. They have no idea that they're in other people's way. They don't care, or they just don't know. They're just dumb shits. Or you've got, and two things going on here. And you have the people that want to set up these pictures everywhere and are constantly taking pictures. And even though it's a crowded area, they expect everybody to just give them this giant semicircle as they take a bunch of pictures, oblivious to the fact that everybody else has got stuff to do and stuff to get to as well. So you got those two things kind of clashing with one another, and many pictures getting interrupted.
Good news, they did go viral.
They did go viral. Absolutely. They still went viral. We didn't see the answer, though I assume it was yes. That's funny stuff. That's your more, everybody.
Grimaldi's fan photos to Murph_Andy at IowaEverywhere.com. Grimaldi's coal-fired brick oven pizzeria, West Des Moines, or District at Prairie Trail in Ankeny. $50 gift card will be handed out Friday. AD?
Yeah, we got the Capriva family. They caught a Twins game up at Target Field on, last week, I guess, and Griffin caught a ball.
Oh, way to go, Griffin. Nice job.
Not amazing? Yeah. I guess the one of the third base coaches or something picked up a foul ball and chucked it into the audience and came right to Griffin. He caught it. Amazing. That's going to be a Twins fan for the rest of his life.
And he could end up playing for the Twins this season. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody, presented by P&P Small Engines.
Mr. Movie, we had a record month for rainfall. How's your lawn doing?
I am mowing every 3 days. I mowed last night. It's like,
jeez.
Man,
should also
brutal.
point P&P is a great place for a chainsaw, and I'm sure that Jeff has sold a lot of those this month, a lot of storm damage out there, but they have a full line of chainsaws, battery and gas powered. So check them out.
Well, the other thing I've been using my weed whipper because I can't get to certain areas, so
just grown too much.
Constantly buying that little twine thing.
Yeah, it's been a crazy month. Out of the box, we're going to another city this week. We've been hopping around the United States of America so far. And our movie this week takes place in New York. And I don't know if the most movies take place in New York, but probably. A lot of New York movies. And I was looking for a movie that doesn't just take place in New York, but that New York becomes part of the movie. And I'm going with the original Ghostbusters. I mean, the city is very much, New York is very much a part of this movie, whether it's the fire station they convert to their Ghostbusters hut, the famous library that most of us then, when we were in New York, went to see and see the lions out in front of the library. Where does the showdown with Gozer take place? Is that the Empire State Building?
It's like Central Park West or something. Yeah, it's in one of those giant high rises right along the park.
Yeah, this movie holds up. It's so perfectly cast, and Bill Murray's it's one of his great performances as the guy who doesn't really believe all this crap, but there's money and a job in it for him, so he stays with it and then slowly comes around to thinking there might be something going on. He's great in this movie. They all are. So Ghostbusters, don't let the sequels deter you from how great the first one was. Andy, what are you going with out of New York?
I'll point out my kids actually took that with them. They took that DVD with them to play in the car. They're headed up to Wisconsin to see my mom. So
the original?
Early this morning. The original.
Wow,
yeah.
Good for them.
The good one. They're watching it probably right now. So many choices here. I've taken Moonstruck too many times, so I won't take that again. Trying to take something I haven't taken before, but still quintessentially New York, and I'm going to go with the original Wall Street.
Ooh.
It just kind of has everything that I thought New York was as somebody who had never been there before. Hustle, bustle, high stress, traffic, glamour, huge clash between business and working classes. And then, focus just kind of on Wall Street, as it seemed like the world's focus on New York City in the 80s was somehow tied to Wall Street, if not directly tied to it. It's a really good movie. It's an Oliver Stone movie, right? Yeah, Oliver Stone.
It is, and it's surprisingly touching at the end with the Martin Sheen character who, works for the airline, and he's a blue collar guy, and Charlie Sheen, who is his real son, and of course in real life and in the movie, but he uses that for insider trading to curry favor with the greed is good Michael Douglas character. It's a really good movie.
And some massive runs by these actors in this movie. Charlie Sheen in the 80s, Michael Douglas in the 80s, even Daryl Hannah in the 80s. I mean, these guys are at the top of their game.
Yeah, it was great. Both are great choices.
What do you have from New York?
Well, the one that just popped into my mind, and we haven't talked about it, is an Al Pacino movie with Chris O'Donnell called Scent of a Woman. Al Pacino plays a blind man. He hires this young man to help him get around in life, in the city especially. And it's just, what a great performance. I believe he won the Oscar for this movie.
He did. He should have won it before this, but
Oh,
I'll take a
anytime.
flamethrower to
But
this place.
These two are so good together, and him running around New York City shouting "hooah" is just something you will not forget. So if you've not seen the movie, or if you haven't seen it in a while, I think it's worth revisiting.
Who does he put in his place in that famous court scene? Is it Matt Damon? Is it Philip Seymour Hoffman?
Philip Seymour Hoffman
Okay.
is the son, but he's really Mr. Trask, the administrator, the dean of that prep school. Yeah, he really trashes him too.
Yeah.
AD, I had a couple come to mind. Escape from New York was another thing that went through my mind. It's kind of a fictional New York in the movie, but you have picked another choice that to me is quintessentially New York, and it's a movie about fathers and sons.
Yeah, I mean, I think of The Mob, right? When I think of New York and movies, and you got The Godfathers and Goodfellas, and my pick isn't as good as those, but A Bronx Tale is a mob movie. I love that Robert De Niro kind of plays anti what he's normally cast as. He's the straight-laced father. Chaz Palminteri is the mob boss, and De Niro's son is involved there. But there's a love story. It's a coming-of-age story. It's a family story. And yeah, while maybe not the best New York mob movie, it's definitely worth seeing.
I'm glad you picked this, Mr. Movie. I think you would agree that this is a really good movie.
Oh, it is.
And what I love about this movie is something that most of us have experienced at some time, either by being the son or being the dad. At some point, you're just completely enamored with this really cool person who's not your dad. And it hurts the dad because he's a good man. He's a good father. But his son just falls in with this mobster played by Chaz Palminteri, who's got so much charisma. And you see where he would look up to him. But the real guy he should be looking up to is right there in his own house, and the kid doesn't realize it until like near the end. It's a great story, I think.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, let's get to the quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
What is your grade for Happy Gilmore 2? And if you haven't seen it like Andy, just abstain. A, B, C, or D, or F?
All right, it is.
Wow.
I'm going with it's a C for me. I had my expectations properly lowered. Some of the cameos I enjoyed. I had some smiles and laughs. I saw a couple of scenes where Adam Sandler, it was always when he was thinking about his family or the love he has for his family, who are actually in the movie, you could see, oh, that's right, Adam Sandler can act. So the end gets ridiculous with the shade they're throwing at the Live Golf Tour. It gets a little bit out of hand, but I'm not sorry I watched it. I'll give it a C. AD, what do you have before we get to Mr. Movie?
Yeah, it's a B for me. We had a lot of fun with it. Yeah, some of the cameos, especially I will say, like I just talked about how I can't get into Scotty Scheffler. His personality.
He's good in this.
He's great in this. Like
yeah,
he's
John Daly's
the best
good.
Cameo. John Daly's
Bad Bunny's good.
The whole Will Zalatoris storyline is really funny. If you know the first movie, it's not a great movie. It's not going to win any awards. It is what Adam Sandler does now, for better or for worse. But we had a lot of fun with it, and I love the first one. And I'm not upset I watched it. I will watch it again with my son probably this weekend.
We got a B. We got a C. Mr. Movie.
Well, hold on. Andy doesn't get to vote?
He hadn't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, he hasn't
and he's
seen
not
it?
going to watch it.
Nope, not
He's
gonna
the
watch
luckiest of the four. I'm not a big Adam Sandler fan. I know that might be a surprise to you. It's a D, and it's a low D. It's so simplistic. He can do better than this. He's talented. We know he's talented. But why does he go for the lowest level of humor? I just don't understand it.
I think it's partly because so many people love it. I mean, it's my Facebook page is full of people who said they love this, and Netflix gave him $200 million to make a couple of movies, and it's going to pay off for Netflix. It's going to be Netflix's biggest movie ever.
Just because it's Happy Gilmore too. I mean, based on the name alone.
Yeah.
Now, the cameos are worth watching the movie.
All right, which one did you like?
I liked them all. I mean,
okay.
Every time somebody shows up, I'm like, why is he here?
And how are they going to shoehorn this guy into the plot? Sometimes they don't.
Did he have nothing else to do?
I think he's got a lot of friends.
I think he does too.
Adam Sandler. I think he's a popular guy that people
love him.
Yeah,
and there's like 30 pro golfers, including Jack Nicklaus, and I mean all of the big golfers and like some of those guys, Rory, and so they're in the movie for a lot. Like this wasn't like a one day come in and shoot for 5 minutes. Yeah. They were there on set for a while.
Scheffler's the best, especially after the credits, where he just chooses to stay in jail because they were having chicken fingers that night. So he's funny, but. Xander Schauffele yelling, "That's what she said," when it doesn't work at all. He keeps trying it. And I think it's Ricky Fowler who uses it properly about a fork up the ass. That's what she said. Yeah, there's some funny cameos in there. And then the old guys are all asleep on the couch. All
of
golfers,
these in
Jack
a movie
Nicklaus.
that you gave a C to.
Yeah.
John Daly's
trying
funny.
hard. Yeah.
John Daly's hilarious.
Yeah, John Daly living in the garage.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. I laughed. I laughed out loud multiple times.
There you go.
Up
to a C.
I don't think I could make it 10 minutes into this movie. I just don't think that I could.
You might not.
I wish
be
I
able
could.
To.
I couldn't.
And the beginning I think is better than the end. But okay, Mr.
It gets
Movie,
a little ridiculous.
So you're giving this a D? Yes, it does.
What
What else did you see? Do you see anything else?
If I was in 7th grade, this would be the best movie I've ever seen.
Yes. That 4th grade, maybe. Yeah.
That goes on the poster.
Yeah.
That's a good one. What is the review, Andy, from years ago that Mr. Movie gave something that we thought was perfect? It was something along
the Joker review. That was my favorite review. He said Andrew always gets this right. It was a good movie, but you definitely don't want to see it again, and you're not even sure that it should have been made.
Right.
No,
it was like, well acted.
So.
Good story.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. A good movie.
I could have given, some other movies that, but I loved it.
You were like, I didn't enjoy it. I don't want to see it again, and I'm not even sure it should have been made because it was.
But it's an A.
Truly dark and disturbing, but you could just kind of see the talent.
Mr. Movie, what else, if anything, did you see this week?
I saw the Fantastic Four First Steps. Now,
What'd you think?
This is like the 4th try at getting the Fantastic Four right. So you go in with a little trepidation thinking, how bad's it going to be?
And I thought the trailer looked cheesy, but my several of our boys went to see it and they liked it, if not loved it.
I think it was brilliant. It is absolutely amazing that they took these 4 people who look how cheesy they look there, and they made a movie out of it that was unbelievable. I mean, first off, Pedro Pascal, I think I've reviewed 4 movies in 4 weeks. How busy
I don't think you're exaggerating. I think that's accurate.
Yeah. And this is the best of all of them. But it's crazy how good the story is, and it actually brings an enemy in that is powerful and that there's true meaning to what happens in this movie. And I'm not going to give you any more than that, but I mean, there's something on the line that's more important than most things you would ever consider.
So
and
what's
the boys can tell you what that is. But the action is great. The acting, they're not trying to be, Hamlet here. I mean, they know their roles and they play them very well, especially the big rock guy. You see him chiseling a beard into his rock at the beginning of the movie because he wants to see what he looks like. I don't know how he's going to get rid of it, but yeah, and Sue, who's not a big fan of comic book movies, walks out of this and she said, that was really good. I've yet to talk to anybody that didn't love it.
Well, that sounds like an A or A minus.
It is an absolute A.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I walked in thinking, okay, C plus, maybe it's an A. I was
good.
thrilled. Yeah.
Right, good.
And especially in the IMAX. Ooh, boy.
And that's it for the reviews, right, Mr. Movie?
That's it for the reviews because you squashed all over Happy Gilmore.
All right, opening this week, the Naked Gun reboot with Liam Neeson. And holy crap, will you look at the critical consensus so far on Rotten Tomatoes? 98%.
What if we could get a double feature of this and Happy Gilmore 2?
I think this is going to be better.
I'm down.
You would like it to be like a pig in slop.
I think I might even be able to get Jenny to see this because it's 85 minutes long.
Well,
I'm worried about this. That should come as no surprise. I love Naked Gun. I've seen the trailers for this, and I haven't laughed once.
Ooh.
Liam Neeson is not a funny guy to me. I'm trying to think of a time where I thought he was funny in a movie.
Have you ever seen his
talented.
table read with Ricky Gervais when he says he wants to get into comedy?
No.
Okay, look that up. It's really funny. And when he gets the tricks in Ted 2, very funny.
Yeah, he's good in the Lego movie.
Yeah.
Ted 2.
But I mean, this is not him doing a voice or doing a reading. This is him as a very well-known character and replacing a comic genius, a guy that that's all he did was comedy. It doesn't look like a good casting to me. And then it's anytime you warm up an old franchise for the sake of making money, it's risky. So I'm really worried about this. I mean, I'm glad to see that got a good review. Maybe I'll give it a chance, but man, anytime you bring something back like that, like John Hamm as Fletch.
Oh, that was not good.
Didn't work at
that was
all.
not good.
That did not work.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about this. I love Liam Neeson. I don't see him as Frank Drebin.
Our friends at the IMAX, Palms IMAX, Fantastic Four will be in IMAX August 1st. Then on the 8th, Weapons, which is a new movie. Then the 15th, Grateful Dead and Fantastic Four. And then on the 18th, I don't know what EANEZHA 2 means. AD, is that mean something to you?
No.
Okay, then Black Swan in the IMAX?
Yeah, I don't know. In case you weren't depressed enough.
Superman, and then this interests me, Jaws 50th on August 29th.
That's a must-see.
Is that just Jaws?
Yeah.
Playing on its 50th anniversary?
Well,
okay.
It's a revised version, and it's cleaned up and stuff. So it's,
they've a revised version of the original film. It's not isn't new actors.
Yeah, no, they've just gone in and cleaned it up.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm down for that.
Prince's Sign of the Times coming up on the 29th.
I'm in for that one.
And then September 5th, you can skip the Iowa State game and go to Conjuring Last Rites. Or not. or not. All right. Thank you, Mr. Movie.
All right, guys. We'll see. Oh, by the way, we also got Bad Guys, too. So if you got kids, Andrew,
yep.
Oh, you know how good Bad Guys was.
The first one was really good. And my
not Will Smith and Martin Lawrence.
That's Bad Boys.
Bad
Okay.
Boys.
My son's got all 10 of these books, and the first movie was really good.
Yeah, it was.
Now I recognize it. Yeah, Eddie has those books too.
All right. Thank you, Mr.
All right,
Movie.
guys,
Mr.
see you
Movie
next week.
with an A and a D this week. Presented by P&P Small Engines. Time for Throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Tire and Auto, treating you like family in Ankeny, Waukee, Knoxville, Boone, and Creston. Andy, we'll start with you. Rocco Beckdecker's his third season as Iowa State's quarterback, ranked third in school history in passing touchdowns, fourth in passing yards, third in total wins, second in conference wins, and oh, by the way, he led the team to its first 11-win season a year ago. What, if anything, does Beck need to do this season to get on the Mount Rushmore of Cyclone quarterbacks?
I think he's probably already on it. He could lose it, I think, with a really bad year. But I think with a good year or just I think he's going to have a good year. With a great year, he could make a play for number one. I mean, it's so hard because Purdy, so much of our perception of Purdy is tied to his NFL success also. It just is. That's the way we work. But I think he's within striking distance of of Brock Purdy's college career this year. But I think he's on it right now. I mean, I think if he just goes out there and plays the rest of the season and has a typical year for him, I think he's got his spot.
Yeah, I can't account for the 100+ years of Iowa State football, but I do think he's at least in that 4 spot right now. I think we have to be careful comparing like his stats to even Sage Rosenfeld's. The game has changed so much, and it favors passing and scoring so much more now. But yeah, he wins like a conference championship and gets Iowa State into the playoff, which they were not that far from that last year. He keeps moving up.
Murph, the NFL preseason begins tomorrow night with the Hall of Fame game between the Lions and the Chargers. How much of this game are you going to watch?
Well, I will look in if it's available, just because it will make me realize football is near. It's a great uniforms game. These are 2 of my favorites, Lions and Chargers. But actually paying attention or caring about the outcome, not at all. But if I'm somewhere near a screen where this is on, it will make me feel good just to see football being played.
Yeah, it's always kind of fun to see the Hall of Fame game played in the high school stadium there in Canton. It's a cool story. But the starters are in for such a brief period. Sometimes in the past, a number of them haven't been in at all with this game. I'm weeks away from caring about the NFL football games, but I'll be interested to see it on television and take in a little bit about it tomorrow night.
Andy, it's the time of year when I'm eating corn on the cob on basically a nightly basis. When you eat sweet corn, do you eat in rows or in columns?
I eat in rows. At least for a while, and then I go back and try to pick off anything that I've left. But I need to up my sweet corn intake. I've not been taking advantage of this. I don't know. The water has helped the crop a lot, I imagine, but it's probably hard to get into the fields. But I got to get out. I got to get out there. You got to bring some money. It's just the time of the year where you got to have $10 with you at all times.
I am not positive, but I think it's a full rotation, which would be columns.
Yeah.
But now I got to try to eat without thinking about it and then check it, because I'm not positive.
I do columns. I'm a column guy.
I think I am.
My kids are chaotic, man. They take random bites.
Yeah, my kids. Yeah, Eddie gets done with an ear of corn. It looks like a raccoon got at it.
Let's stay with our Andrew Downs theme here for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD squared.
Yeah, Game Day Men's Health brings it to you each and every show. I'm headed up to Ankeny tomorrow to get my testosterone boost just in time for the weekend. Andy goes to West Des Moines. Scott Dochterman goes to North Liberty. You can go wherever you have a game day near you. They'll help you out. I think I'm due for labs tomorrow, so they'll draw a little blood and kind of make sure that everything is regulated. It's where it should be, and make any adjustments as needed moving forward. So I always appreciate when they do that. We mentioned it earlier, but last night's game between the Valkyries and the Dream was delayed by a flying
appliance.
I'll let you watch.
Back to Hayes, who got blocked on the 3. Something flies on the court, I think. There was something that flew from a fan onto the court, out of bounds, and Salon is saying that there was something on the court.
It's still tied at 75, Jacob, and we got the object off the floor.
This has been one of a kind.
When you have a lime green item just kind of fly.
That's some announcers being really
green
careful.
Item.
Object. Item.
Somebody brought that to the game with them.
Well, metal detector wouldn't catch it.
No, but I mean, at least that's a bulge in a pocket, right?
Yeah, but
something
who wants
else
that
has to
checked?
come out of the purse for that to fit in it.
Quickie poll results are presented by WCI Pools and Spas.
What is your grade for Happy Gilmore 2? 35% say B, 32% say C, 18% say D or F, and 15% will give it an A.
15% go with the A. I am headed on vacation. I'm going to miss my first show on Friday, but I plan to join Monday. And I hope it goes as well as it did when you were on vacation.
Yeah, you know how to do it. We've had some practice. You'll probably have a hotel that will probably be excited to have you set up there. Get yourself a Swiss beer. I can't remember what the name of those are.
Me either. I never tried it across the ocean before, so that'll be a first for me. Thank you for being part of Murph and Andy here on Iowa Everywhere. If you get a chance, please like and subscribe. It helps us, and it'll help you too. We're back Friday, and we hope you are too.
Murph and Andy was brought to you by Ramsey Subaru on Hickman Road in Urbandale.